So today I'm going to be talking about this album here, Lynyrd Skynyrd album. Skynyrd's first, the Complete Muscle Shoals album. So this album here, is it in 1971, 2 years before Lynyrd Skynyrd recorded their first official LP for MCA Records. The Rowdy Florida Rockers made a scorching unreleased studio album in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, which producer Jimmy Johnson and his production crew, the Swampers. 1978, 9 tracks from those sessions were released on Skynyrd's First and Last. But now, for the first time, here is a complete unabridged 17-track Muscle Shoals album featuring 6 never before release recordings, including the original studio version of their legendary rock guitar anthem Freebird when Skynyrd wrote Sweet Home Alabama. This album is what they were talking about. So this album here has a couple new songs, I should say, and some songs that were like obviously released on their first album, and a couple new songs that they released. So altogether, there's 17 songs on this album here. Let me see. Yeah, so this album here, like I said, 17 songs. Let me show you the inside here. So all the songs on here. So it has, let me see here. It shows the songs. So on here it shows, okay, so Freebird. So this one here was the original version, which said it was recorded in 1971. So vocals was Ronnie Van Zant, guitars Alan Collins, Gary Rossington, bass Ed King. So at this time, I don't think he was with the band then. Drums and backup vocals, Ricky Medlock, who was with the band left the band actually. I believe he left the band in 70, I think it was 72. Left the band in, I think it was a year before they had their first album out, around either 71 or 72 he left the band. But he did good for himself, because like a couple years later he was in another band. I think he formed another band called Blackfoot, which who's kind of like similar. The style of music was kind of similar to Lynyrd Skynyrd, that kind of southern rock style music. After that song is One More Time, which I said was recorded in 1971. Give Me Three Steps, the original one, which was recorded in 72. Was I Right or Wrong? Preacher's Daughter. Let me see here. White Dove, which Ricky Medlock was on vocals for that one. That was recorded in 71 between June 28th to July 26, 1971. After that was Down South Junkin', which was released in 1972. Wino, which was released in 71. Simple Man, the original version, which was released in 1972. So I found this album was quite interesting. Heard the early versions of some of the songs that would end up being on Lynyrd Skynyrd's first album. Yeah, I found it was quite interesting because it sounded completely different from when it was on their debut album in 73. Completely different. Like Freebird sounded completely different to their original, from their, I should say, their first album, because that was the original version on the 1971 one. But Meth's Trust, which was released in 72. Coming Home, which was released in 71. The Seasons, which was released in 1971. Very interesting for this one here. It said drums and mandolin. Ricky Medlock was. So he sang quite a few songs on this album here. After that is Lend a Helping Hand, which was released in 1971. Things Going On, so that was the original version, which was released in 1972. So that song later on would be on their debut album in 1973, a year later. I Ain't the One, which the original version said was recorded in 1971. You Run Around, which was released in 71, which Ricky Medlock was on vocals and drums. The very last song is Ain't Too Proud to Pray, which was released in 1971. Ricky Medlock was on vocals and drums for that. So out of all these songs here, out of like all the songs, I would say 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I believe 7 of the songs would be released on some of their albums later on in the 70s. So here's the inside. There's them, I believe, in the studio, I believe. Here's the back of it. And there's the back. Yeah, I found this here. It was a great album. There's the back here. All the songs. So I found this here. Like I said, you get the early versions of quite a few songs. Like I said, Free Bird, One More Time, Give Me 3 Steps, Simple Man, Things Going On, I Eat the Ones, and get early versions of, recordings I should say, of the songs before it was released on the album. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so like I said, 17 songs. Here's the back again. No, yeah, so it's just starts a Free Bird, like the original recording of that song, which I believe it was only like 5 minutes or something, like 6 or 7 minutes or something like that. Not like the original one that I believe was like 9 minutes or something. After that is One More Time, Give Me 3 Steps, Was I Right or Wrong, Preacher's Daughter, White Dove, Down South, Junkin', Wino, Simple Man, the original version of that, which sounded completely different than the one that was on the album, their debut album. There's Trust, Coming Home, The Seasons, Linda Helping Hand, Things Going On, which I found that was different compared to the one that was on their debut album. There's I Ain't the One, which I found was completely different than because that was off their debut album as well, and I found that was different compared to, completely different compared to the one off their debut album. There's You Run Around, Ain't Too Proud. So so I found it was a great album. So let me know what you think down in the comments, and thank you everybody for support my channel. Greatly appreciate that. So thank you very much for that. And I do have one more to do, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get that done today, but thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And I did one before this, Scorpions, their first live album, before this one. So if you haven't checked that one out, check that one out. And thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. Greatly appreciate for that. So thank you so much, and let me know what you think down in the comments. And thank you so much, and bye.